In recent years, there's been a surge of conversation surrounding high value men and a myriad of women who are vying for these top dollar guys. In this video, however, I'm going to tell you why you may not want them and also who to look for instead to get the life of love you really want and deserve. Stick around. Hi, and welcome to my channel. I am Portia, the communicator, your trusted mental health life coach, and I help women get into the lifelong partnerships they desire and deserve. I want to give a special shout out to all of the new subscribers. Thank you for joining the tribe and being here. And if anything that I say resonates with you, if you're new here, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, share the content if it can be beneficial for someone else, and join the conversation in the comments. I always love to hear from you. So to quickly dive in, we're going to be discussing high value men and why you may not want them. But to get started, I want to talk about what a high value man traditionally is known for. I'm not sure if it was Kevin Samuels who coined the phrase high value man, but it typically doesn't mean how a man values a woman. It strictly means how much a man is bringing in his bank account. Is he a top earner? Is he making 6 or 7 figures? And I think the problem with the title high value is that it's not a true depiction of what we're discussing. What we're discussing when we talk about high value men is not the quality of their character. It's the quantity of dollars in their portfolio. And so I think it's important to make that clear distinction between what is what and who is who. Here is some of the stuff that can come along with said type of man. They tend to be workaholics or greedy, i.e. selfish, money and ambitious hungry. And they can value, here is where their high value lies. They can value money, power, status, and even sex over you. They can value that over a woman, the inherent value of feminine presence. They're not as interested in that more than they are their things or their stuff or their material assets. Some of the other issues outside of these men are the women who pedalize them. And I didn't realize this at one point because I too fell in this category, but I have worked with women and coached them through navigating the world of high value men, because oftentimes what happens, and we don't realize it, is when we are going for or are hard pressed for this high value man, we are essentially putting them in their bank account on a pedestal, and they know it. That's the gag. That's the kicker. They know that they are the prize. They know that every woman wants to be with them. Whether they have looks or not, whether they treat you well or not, doesn't matter. They got status, they got money, they got cars, they got a home, they have all the accolades and the things that can, get you a bag, but nothing much else, typically speaking. And so because these men know that you have made them and their bank accounts the prize, they will act accordingly. They will act like they are the prize, like they're doing you a favor by being around. They will treat you less than them because you, in a sense, are treating them more than yourself. You are valuing their financial stability more than the care and the nurture of your inner world, more than the quality of time that you spend with this individual, more than the loyalty and the commitment that you would get from this person. If that is where your value system lies, they will associate you with the thing that means the most to them, their money. And if they've got a lot of it, for them it's disposable. And they will often put you in that same category. They will treat you as disposable. And so because they are treated like the cream of the crop, oddly enough, where they get lazy is in the relationship department, because they think that their money solves or covers up everything for them. They're not really concerned with emotional intelligence and working on themselves to be better people, working on themselves to be better partners. They're not interested. They think that they can buy their way out of everything, or that they can buy your love or your complicitness in whatever they've got going on, whether that's good for you or not. It is always about their money and their status and the things that they have. It's not about how well they treat you. It's not about how well you feel. It's always about the external, superficial things when it comes to these types of men. And so I have to say, ladies, unfortunately, money doesn't cover up the fact that these types of men tend to typically be assholes, or sometimes some of them are stingy. A man can have all the money in the world, and that's another thing. A lot of times these high value, or should I say high dollar men, they are very stingy with their money because they're trying to hoard it and keep it and make sure that they maintain their status. So they may not be as giving as you think. Just because a man has a lot of money doesn't mean he's going to spend it on you. That is a lesson I once had to learn, okay? Money doesn't erase an entitled attitude, which is sometimes what a lot of these men have. They want their cake and eat it too. And sometimes that means having you and someone else and someone else and someone else on the side. It doesn't change the fact that they tend to treat women like objects, or the propensity they have to cheat as a result, because they've got options. And so rather than seeking a high value man, here's the type of man that I encourage ladies to seek out, and that is a high character man, or a highly likely man. And let me tell you what I mean by that. You want a man who is highly likely to want you and you alone. You want a man who is highly likely to communicate, or at least be willing to learn how. You want a man who is highly likely to pay bills and provide for you as a wife if you're wanting marriage. You want a man who is highly likely to work on having a great relationship. You want a man who is highly likely to introduce you to his friends and family and not keep you a secret. You want a man to be interested in your friends and family. And guess what? This is the best part. He doesn't have to be a millionaire to do it. You want a generous man, a loving man, a man who is committed and faithful if monogamous partnership is what you are looking for. These are the kinds of men that you want to go for, not so much the guy who has the 6 and 7 figures in his bank account, because again, just because he's got all of that doesn't mean that he's interested or willing to share it with you. And in my personal experience, I have dated both, and I can tell you the one I married wasn't the millionaire, but the one I married was the one who was willing to give me everything, versus the guy who had everything, who was really stingy and not really wanting to share anything. So there's the difference. Now, if you're curious about why you may be drawn to certain relationship experiences or partner types, I have free guides on my website. The link for those are in my description box beneath this video. Click on that so you can find out why you may be in the same relationship rut or attracting the same types of men or people. Go ahead and take advantage of that free gift. And also, if you are wanting to know more about how to attract love into your life, the type of love that you dream of and desire, I have a program titled Rewire for Love that is meant to take you from where you are, point A, to where you want to be, point Z, when it comes to inner transformation and bringing about that long-term successful relationship and or marriage that you envision for yourself. The link for that is also in my description box beneath this video. Book a free consultation call with me today so we can talk about jump-starting your relationship experience ASAP. Now, as always, I don't discuss everything in a video because I want to get your input on what you think. So drop down in the comments and let me know if you've ever dated a high value man, what your experience was, and also if there are any other things that you think come along with the package of a high value man that I have not discussed. Of course, not everyone with a bunch of money is evil and crazy, but what I will say is the high value men who are interested in being a full package, they sometimes tend to come few far in between. I'll just say it like that. And if you find one of those, they're a gem. Hold on to that. Please also drop in the comments and let us know what you think women should be looking for when it comes to looking for a healthy, long-standing partnership. And please tell me what else we should discuss next. Any questions that you want answered in the next video or any follow-up questions pertaining to this video, I want to hear from you. All right, well, if anything that I have said has resonated with you, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, share this video if you know it can be beneficial for someone else. And as always, thank you for being here and watching. I appreciate you. Until the next video, take care, be blessed. That's all I have, and bye for now.